Hi everyone, this is Kelly from The Truth and Story, and please excuse my interesting hair. I keep trying to fix it, but it's been raining all day long, and I went outside and got completely soaked twice, and the electricity's gone on and in and out multiple times. In fact, I had a Skype session to do, and I was so afraid it was going to click out. I mean, it comes back fairly quickly, but then everything has to re-go up, and but so hopefully it stays up, although this has a battery, so I don't think it will interrupt our thing. Kelly Bear, who has a YouTube channel here, and I will put a link to her video in the description box. I love watching her videos, and she has, I don't know why I just shuffled those cards, because I'm not doing anything. I just have cards in front of me. If I have cards in front of me, I want to shuffle them. That's just how I am. She did a video today that everybody's doing video responses to on the 5 decks that you would take if you were going to go away, either for the rest of your life, or if that is painful for you to think about, then she's modified it for those of us who that would be painful to being just, you know, for a year or so, going somewhere where you couldn't take, you know, you had limited space. Now, you know me, I have to cheat. At first I thought, oh, well, that's really easy. There's 5 of them. I started thinking about tarot decks and which one would I take and which one would I take. And I actually had a hard time with it after I very quickly figured out 3. And then I was kind of like, oh, you know what? Because I wanted a balance. You know, it was more, it wasn't really like these are my favorite ones. It was like if I was going to go away for a year and these were the only decks I had access to, I would want a balance of things. Phone and me. So I was like, okay, you know, I want a balance of access to things, and so what would I need this, and I would want this. So I was kind of thinking through those kinds of things, and I finally realized I simply couldn't do 5 tarot decks. Like if I could only have 5 decks, so I'm modifying the challenge because I like to cheat, because if I could only have 5 decks that would encompass everything I would want to have access to, what would they be? So for the first one was easy. I did go for the Fountain Tarot. Beautiful silver size, beautiful fronts, because this to me is just very neutral. It's very, you know, the modern Rider-Waite-Smith to me, this is the kind of tarot deck. You want a tarot deck? Of course you want the Fountain Tarot. But that's me, because I'm in love with the Fountain Tarot. I love this 8 of Coins. It doesn't bring a ton of its own energy. It has a balance of energies. And that's what I really like about it, because it doesn't add to the emotions of the reading. It just says, okay, let's talk this through. So that one I bought for sure as my basic tarot deck. And then the second one was pretty easy because I had to bring my Bohemian Gothic, because it gives a darker deck. I don't consider this a dark deck or really scary deck, but it's definitely darker themed, darker coloration, shadowy, gorgeousness, moony kind of energy. It's also very nurturing. It's got a little bit of a sense of humor, a lot of a sense of humor. So I felt like this kind of balanced that out. You know, a good compassionate, cooling, calm one, and then a, you know, cooling or a wonderful, like shadowy, moony, so kind of sun and moon energies. Here we go. So those 2 were pretty easy for me. It's like, okay, bam, I need to take those 2 because they fill roles. The third one was also pretty easy. Now I can't mess through these too much because I'm getting ready to do a walkthrough, but this is the Thoth Tarot. And so I'm going to have to be careful to keep these in order. This I have not had very long. I have done a bunch of reading on it last night and this morning, but I haven't been able to actually lay a spread yet because I need to do the card walkthrough since I've got them all in order. So I am going to be doing that next. We'll have to do Lenormand. So I thought this, you know, I'm going to be gone for a year. I need to learn the Thoth Tarot. So I fell in love with these cards, and so this would be a perfect opportunity, being on vacation for a year, to take this with me to learn. So I have kind of a regular tarot deck, light and sunshine. I have a moon tarot deck, and then I have this one, which is amazing, which I'll get into in my walkthrough because I don't want to get started or I'll really start like gushing. And that would be a nice mix of tarot. Now, if I had my Marseille deck, which I do have one coming from a wonderful, wonderful person, and it's just like her mother's, and I just can't wait to get it. But anyways, then I would probably add that in, because then I would have, you know, all three tarot systems, as well as kind of a shadowy, moony kind of deck. But I don't have that. Not to mention, you'll see why, that I feel okay with not having it right at this moment if I had to leave on my vacation without getting my mail. So then the other two decks, I'm kind of like, it was hard. I had, you know, the Tarot of the Hidden Realms. I had the Wild Unknown. I had the Marielle Tarot. I had like all these different kind of, okay, what they need to fill a role. If I could just only have this, I want this balance. I'm like, okay, I have the sun, I have the moon, I have the intellect and the intuition-y combination in the Thoth Tarot, and lots of learning and chewing to do on that one. I kind of got my tarot bases covered. So then I thought I would bring the Tao Oracle, because, so I got 3 tarot options. Now I have an Oracle and I-Ching, however you want to say it, in one gorgeous, sumptuous deck. So that would be my 4th deck. And I know what the question is. I can read and I can listen, but you know, sometimes you just have to answer from your own perspective. And you know, Kelly Bear, she's a rebel at heart. I can tell with her bat wings and her hair and such like that, that she's a rebel at heart. So I think that she'll appreciate a little rebellion. So my 4th deck would be the Tao Oracle, because Tao, I-Ching. Now, even smarter is my 5th deck, which would be this deck of playing cards, because I have the playing card. I can read with it as a playing card deck. Playing card reading, also Marseille kind of feeling with the pip decks and the pip and the very simple structure there. So that's A, playing card reading. B, Lenormand reading, because what I intend on doing with this is what Mr. Lunar did. And I plan on embossing, you know, where you press into it and you're not going to see any color on it, but I'm going to emboss the numbers. I don't know if I'm going to do probably the names and the numbers on the Lenormand cards. I don't want it to be written on, but I'm going to emboss it, and it's going to be awesome. So I'm going to emboss these, and so I would have Lenormand and I would have playing card reading in one swoop, as well as a pip deck for minors if I really wanted to do it that way. But I have tarot decks. So that is going to double whammy me up. So in 5 decks that I have chosen, I will have playing cards, Lenormand, I-Ching, Oracle, Thoth system, and then 2 options for basically Rider-Waite-Smith kind of tarot decks of sun and moon energy. And that, I think, would be an excellent 5 decks to bring. High five! So there we have it. I am perfect personally, even though it is rebelling against the initial question. I personally think that is an awesome. I'm sitting here looking at this and I'm saying to myself, you know what, self, you've got your bases covered with that for a year long. You're good. You are golden. Okay, I'm gonna go before you all get annoyed. I haven't been. Oh, I have. I thought I hadn't been recording. Okay, so I'm gonna go because I got to do Lenormand next, and I just wanted to get those out there because it took me a while to figure it out, and then I had this to do, and then I had to eat. Isabel was starving. So I want to get this done and get Lenormand done so that I can really do what I want to very much do, which is do a walkthrough of the Thoth. So, people in the land. I don't know what that is. Just ignore me. I am clearly a little slap happy. So, There we go. Tell me in your comments. Some of you I'm watching videos, so if you do video, I will be able to catch it up in the feed. But if you're not doing videos, put in your 5 decks that you would take. Now you can do 5 tarot decks, or you can be a rebel like me and just 5 decks in general. Why would you bring them? Would you bring them based on your favorite decks? Would you bring them based on, like me, a sort of having access to a variety of things? Or how would you do this? How would you do it? What would the decks be? 5 decks. All right, talk to you later.